Chef Boy RV here again. We are cooking keto again tonight. We're going to do Cowboy burgers, which is a burger with bacon, egg, 2 different kinds of cheese. And we're going to be making Stacy's favorite, bacon maple Brussels sprouts.
Woohoo!
Got all the ingredients here. The Brussels sprouts we use frozen, they last longer. So we cut off the stems and halve them, and then we'll put them in the pan shortly with the seasonings and the bacon and the maple. We've got the burgers here with the eggs, the 2 kinds of cheese. Got some bacon that was pre-fried. Got some more bacon over here so that we can put in with the Brussels sprouts. All of our seasonings for the burgers. And we'll get started here in just a second seasoning these burgers. Okay, we're going to start seasoning these burgers. We bought pre-made patties, just a little bit of a time saver. It's no big deal. 80-20. Got to have a little moisture. You're going to put salt, pepper, you know, the usual stuff. We use a lot of garlic, so we're going to throw some garlic powder on there. Our Lowry seasoning salt, we use a lot of that. Great on beef and chicken. And I like to add some Worcestershire sauce.
Or however you say it in your
Add a little extra of
house.
that. We'll let these sit for a few minutes before we stick them in our cast iron cookware. First we're going to do the Brussels sprouts. So we've got a preheated non-stick pan for the Brussels. I'm going to throw in some olive oil, extra virgin. Let that come up. Drop in our stemmed and halved Brussels sprouts.
I always hated Brussels sprouts before we got on keto, and now I ask for them every single night. He's tired of cooking them.
Do a quick little season on those, salt, pepper. For these, we're going to throw in some fresh garlic. I like the Goya brand. They make a really good product.
Well, it's not quite fresh. We're cheating.
Pre-minced garlic.
Time saver.
Any time saver you can use. Helps dinner get on the table faster. And the less you have to prep, the more you'll like cooking. We've got salt, pepper, garlic. We're also going to throw some of this Cajun Creole seasoning in. Stacy loves the Brussels sprouts a little bit more spicy.
Yes, I do.
This particular brand is not available at a lot of places. Mostly restaurant supply.
We have a connection who works for the company. Thank you. You know who you are.
So we're going to use some of that. Any Cajun Creole seasoning will do. Get those good and coated. And we'll throw in our bacon so it starts to render the fat into these Brussels sprouts. I've already cubed this bacon up. Once that renders down, we'll add the maple a little later.
Okay.
Alright, the Brussels sprouts doing well, starting to blacken up. Bacon has rendered, getting a little crispy. So we're going to add some of this sugar-free syrup. It's 5 grams of carbs.
Is it Great Value brand or something?
It is.
Yeah.
Just sugar-free syrup, maple syrup. So we're going to add a little of this. 5 grams of carbs per serving, a couple of tablespoons, that's all we're going to use. We're just going to drop some of this in. Listen to that sizzle. Get it good and coated. Let it bubble up nicely and caramelize. Then the Brussels will be done, and we can, small stove, we can't cook 3 or 4 things at a time. So we're cooking the Brussels, and then we'll move to the cast iron and cook the burgers.
You can see our one pan takes up the majority of the 3 burners we have available, so that makes it a little more impressive that you can do all this.
You work with what you have. So these are about done. They smell magnificent.
Yeah.
Slightly sweet, slightly spicy. Got the little texture of the crispy bacon in there, plus the Brussels sprouts.
Smells delicious.
Alright, and we'll remove these from the stove, keep them warm, and start cooking the burgers. Okay, we've got the cast iron skillet screaming hot. We've already pre-fried the bacon, left all the bacon fat in there so these burgers can cook in that. So, take our seasoned burgers, drop them in there, listen to that sizzle.
You prefer to cook in cast iron?
I prefer to cook in cast iron. It's the only way to cook meat. Cooks much more evenly. It can take the heat. We're not going to waste any of this stuff. We'll pour all that on there. They're burgers. It's winter time. Not here in South Florida, but for the rest of you, cast iron is definitely a great option for cooking all of your meat. Or you can cook it outside. You can cook it on the grill, you can cook it on the black stone, the flat top, whatever you have. We'll probably be doing some stuff later where we're cooking outside, because we do live in a camper. This kitchen is a little small. Sometimes we like to cook outside if we can. Give us a little more room. We're going to let these burgers sit here and sizzle up for about 7 minutes per side. I don't like them overdone. Can't let ground beef get underdone, but they can be just a touch pinkish on the inside. But since I didn't make them, we're going to make them a little more done than you would if it were fresh ground beef.
So, while that's cooking, why don't you tell them, since we're full-time RVers, why don't you tell them about what we do?
We are work campers. We live in our camper full-time, sold everything we own, businesses, house, everything. It's all gone. We have a truck, we have an RV, we have a motorcycle. We travel around from campground to campground, and we work basically in the campgrounds for our site. We don't really make any money doing this, but we don't really need to make any money doing this. So we get to stay for free, we get to travel the country, see new things, new people, new states. Get to ride our motorcycle in some of the coolest locations in the world. The jobs range from outside maintenance, putting people in their sites, cleaning toilets sometimes, housekeepers. I'm also a banquet chef, so at a lot of these RV parks I do the cooking for the large events, feeding 200, 300, 400 people at a time. That's fun. Sometimes I like to take a break and just get on the golf cart and just put RVs in sites and not have to worry about the stress of 4 a.m. to midnight doing a giant party, having a big band and taking care of all that stuff.
It's stressful, but it's fun.
It's stressful. It's still like a job. I'm supposedly retired, but you know, I'm more retarded than retired, so...
I'll say.
We're
I'll
just going
second
to
that.
stick to this for now, and maybe soon I'll get back into banquet cooking.
A lot of times, if he's not the banquet chef for activities, and I'm not working in activities with him, then I work in the office while he works outside. But yeah, that's why he was talking about we're in Florida, and it's not cold here. It's nice and beautiful and sunny, but we've had some rain and wind lately, so that's why we're cooking inside, right?
Absolutely.
But maybe next week you'll do my favorite on the Blackstone outside.
We can plan a hibachi dinner. We can cook on the Blackstone on the flat top and make cauliflower fried rice with chicken, steak, and shrimp, all in a nice marinade.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be so good, and it's not really a dirty meal because you can cook it all outside on the Blackstone. Everything can go on the same cooktop, so you don't have to dirty up a bunch of dishes and do a lot of washing in this tiny little sink in this tiny little kitchen in our tiny little RV.
And speaking of dirty, it's also not dirty keto. So when he does the hibachi Japanese, it's full strict keto, because we ate that once or twice a month at least when we were strict keto. So.
Absolutely. We have a few recipes that are strict full keto. Now we're just kind of maintaining. We've lost as much as we want to lose. You don't want to get too thin. We're trying to stay healthy. I work outside again, so I need a little bit more. Actually, I need a little more carbs because I'm burning a lot more energy
Than
doing
I am, for
outside
sure.
work.
Yeah.
So occasionally we will cheat, and we'll let you know what you can cheat with and what you can't to maintain the weight. You can't just run down to McDonald's and get a cheeseburger and just call it a cheat day. You can, but it's a lot harder to come back from that. That stuff is so addictive.
Yes, but a little tip, little insider tip here is if you're craving that taste, you can order it without a bun.
You can.
Skip the fries.
You can make my cheeseburger casserole, which I promise you is as close as you can get to a McDonald's cheeseburger without actually having a McDonald's cheeseburger, and it is full keto.
Yeah.
Okay, we flipped the burgers. It's been about 7 minutes. So we're going to flip them and cook them another 7-ish minutes, basically till they stop running. You can see where they're running a little bit pink. Once they stop running pink, they should be pretty close to done. We'll leave them in for another 30 seconds or so. Don't overcook them. And then we'll drain the grease off and we'll start the eggs for these Cowboy burgers. Alright, we've taken the burgers out of the pan, taken some of the fat out of the pan so we can get ready for the eggs. The burgers are up here resting. We've used smoked Gouda as the cheeseburger. So we only put the cheese on the 2 of them because we can only make 4 burgers at a time. First of all, that's how they're sold. Second of all, we have 2 burgers for tomorrow to eat at lunch or whatever.
Yum.
So we're going to put the Gouda on top so it melts in while they're resting. And then when we plate it, we'll slide a slice of smoked provolone underneath the burger so you'll have 2 kinds of cheese plus the bacon and the eggs. We're going to add a little pickle to the plate, give a little fresh element, a little crunch, and then we're going to throw in the maple bacon Brussels sprouts as a side dish to make this pretty keto. 10-12 grams of carbs total for this entire meal, and I'm telling you, the whole family will like it. And if you got people over or part of the family that does not eat keto, these are still burgers. Just put it on a bun and throw anything you want it. Tomatoes, lettuce, pickles, onions. Sometimes we make the caramelized onions. Tonight we did not.
Oh, wait, I have to say something. You just said tomatoes, so if you're strict keto, just beginning, you probably don't want to eat a lot of tomatoes. They have a lot of natural sugar, so we're not here to completely educate you on keto. We just want to give you an overview of cooking, but yeah,
Right.
Apples, bananas, grapes, tomatoes.
Most of your fruits and vegetables have a lot of sugar. Natural sugar, which is not super bad for you, but if you're trying to do keto, you need to stay away from all sugars, natural or otherwise. So you're kind of restricted to the Brussels sprouts, the cauliflower, asparagus, broccoli,
green beans.
green beans. We eat a lot of green beans, which she never liked before. She also, for some reason, has never had a bacon cheeseburger
Never.
or fried egg on a burger. We've been married 21 years. I had no idea she'd never had a bacon cheeseburger before.
Till a year ago, my first bacon cheeseburger.
Introduced her to bacon cheeseburgers. Now I'm putting fried eggs on them. We might put some crispy onions on the top.
I had
also Cowboy.
Yeah, I had also never had an egg on a hamburger either, and I almost didn't eat it the first time.
It's amazing, and we're going to fry the eggs a little bit over medium so that the yolk is a little bit runny still, so that when you first cut into it, that yolk spills all over the burger, and it is heaven on earth.
Yes, it is.
Okay, we're going to drop the eggs in. Got the oil that we already made the burgers in. So there's one. We're just having 2 burgers tonight. It's just me and her. There's 2. We're going to let those fry up nicely. Let's add a little salt and pepper to them. Got to have some flavor on your eggs.
I'd like to point out again, we have a wandering weenie dog looking for droppings, always. The other one is buried under the... Let's see if we can peek at her. Lucy, hello baby. Are you hiding? So Fred's looking for tidbits and Lucy's hiding.
So instead of trying to flip these eggs and not bust the yolk, which is kind of hard, and I'm a cook and I do this all the time, it's still 20-30% of the eggs you're going to bust the yolk on. So I have found that if you just put enough oil in there, you can get the oil to go up over the top of the egg. Cook it from the top and the bottom at the same time. You don't have to worry about flipping it and breaking the yolk. Alright, the eggs are done. So now we're going to plate this keto dinner. We got a burger. Drop that on a nice bed of lettuce. We're going to top it with one of our crispy bacon strips. I forgot.
What'd you forget?
Underneath this burger, we're going to throw a little bit of smoked provolone.
We had an oopsie. You forgot something?
Just to add a little extra flavor. 2 cheeses. Burger, the bacon. I'm going to drop on Stacy's slightly more done egg.
I only like eggs really runny if they're over grits, and grits are not keto, so, and you northern people probably don't know what grits are, but we love them in the South.
And then we're going to spoon on some of our smoked maple bacon Brussels. It's a great alternative to tater tots.
They're delicious!
And they're delicious. A little bit spicy, a little bit sweet. A little bit of crunch with that bacon in there that we rendered down with it.
I'm telling y'all, I crave Brussels sprouts now. After hating them for 47 years of my life, I crave them, and I would eat them all the time instead of chips or cookies or anything.
We're going to throw a nice fresh pickle spear on there.
Pickles are highly keto. You can eat all you want.
Highly keto, eat all you want. Adds a little bit of a crunch to this dish. A little bit of sweetness. And then we're going to garnish of your choice. Stacy likes a little Miracle Whip to dip. Wayne likes a little spicy brown mustard for our Cowboy burger.
You refer to yourself in the third person. That was cute. His name's Wayne, by the way.
We use no sugar added ketchup, which has less than 1 gram of carb. I have no idea why she puts ketchup on anything. Ketchup is a cover-up. It's for potatoes only. We don't eat potatoes anymore. I don't know why we need ketchup. But we have the no sugar ketchup, so we'll add some of that.
I don't like it as much as I used to, but I
So
still
she
have to
can
have a
dip.
touch.
And I think that's it.
We're good? We have our finished plate, chef.
We have Cowboy burger, 2 cheeses on a bed of lettuce with bacon strips and a fried egg with Miracle Whip, spicy brown mustard, and ketchup dipping sauces. We have a nice kosher dickle.
Kosher dickle. A kosher pickle dickle?
Kosher pickle dickle spear. And some maple bacon Brussels sprouts for a fairly easy, great entertaining dinner. And you can also throw this on a bun for people that don't eat keto.
Fred's ready for his. Okay. Okay, y'all. We're ready to eat.
We're ready to eat.
Over and out.